Hello, welcome back to Talkin' Tunes, and today we are looking at the 8 tunes on Black Sabbath's third album from 1971, Masters of Reality. Oh yeah, boys, we are looking at a fucking banger album today. Last week I looked at something that was a little bit hard that also came out in 1971. Maybe I need to find an American album that came out in 1971. It's 1971 month, I guess. Last week I looked at, an album from 1971, Led Zeppelin 4, that I wasn't too fond of. This one I'm very fond of. And War Pigs, or is that 1970? That might be 1970, but I think that's 71, isn't it? Anyway, but yeah, Black Sabbath is a band, that is just, like, the foundation, the creators of the a genre of music known as metal. And while I don't necessarily vibe with a lot of metal that comes out these days, or even came out 10 years later or 15 years later, I vibe with fucking Black Sabbath, dude. So kicking it off with song number 1, Sweet Leaf. This famously, it has that looping cough intro, goes into an iconic Iommi riff, and it initially sounds like a love song with the "When I first met you, I didn't realize." Maybe Sweet Leaf is the name of his lover. Nah, dude. It's about fucking weed. It's about weed, man. That's a B, I think. Anyway, it's real. So it initially sounds like a love song. It's about weed. It's a love song to weed. It's very much in that, yeah, it opens your mind, man, type attitude. Butler's bass line goes crazy as we get to the solo, which is a pretty good solo, but, Iommi's solos don't really stick with me. I don't really remember every note of them. I just remember, oh yeah, there's a solo that happens here. He's very much more of a riff master, not a solo guy. Which isn't a bad thing. Not at all. Song number 2, After Forever. This is one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs, folks. Alright, it's a phenomenal follow-up to Sweet Leaf. It's got some heavy religious themes. It is an overtly Christian song. The lyrics were written as Butler, or by Butler, and it's, a great exhibit A as to why Black Sabbath or metal just isn't satanic. I know that's still an attitude around with a lot of Christians today. I'm not a religious man by any means, but I know that that's an attitude. I know for a fact that that's not all Christians, because I have several, in fact, a lot of my friends happen to be Christian, and the only problem they have with my music taste is the prog shit. When I put on some Black Sabbath, they're like, alright, I'm vibing. But yeah, After Forever, it's just like, have you ever thought about your soul? Can it be saved? Da-na-na-na-na. Or perhaps you think that once you're dead, you just stay in your grave. Is God just a thought within your head, or is he part of you? Na-na-na-na. Is Christ just a name that you read in a book when you were in school? Just, like, it's amazing. It is an amazing song. It's phenomenal, dude. It's phenomenal, and it's got Christian themes, and yet it's not fucking lame. It actually is fucking badass, dude. Like, and with somebody like Ozzy Osbourne singing it, Ozzy Osbourne, God rest his soul, man. Ozzy Osbourne was a man who famously partied so hard that people made jokes that the man had blood in his drug system, which is something I wholeheartedly believe. I unironically believe that the man had blood in his drug system. I think he was just perpetually drunk at some point after, like, 1996 or something. I don't know, dude. Like, the dude was just hammered constantly, and that's awesome. But for a man who partied so hard that, he was perpetually drunk, even after he got even when he was clean, I don't know if he ever got fully sober, and that's the joke. Sober in, the substances he was taking. But anyway, the man, if his wife Sharon is to be believed, he reaffirmed his faith to God on his fucking deathbed, man. And he also, this is a man who once said that he wouldn't go to confession because by the time because he'd die before he was done confessing. Like, the man was nuts. But this song is a great exhibit A as to why Ozzy wasn't satanic. Because despite all that shit, he sung this song for a long time. Song number 3, Embryo. Tony Iommi just plays his guitar for 30 seconds. Technically 28. But song number 4, Children of the Grave. Oh, yeah. Bill Ward is having a fucking great time on the drums. It's the heaviest intro so far, and it's another anti-war song. It's got a pretty mass solo, sadly, but it's got a sick fucking outro. Like, it's very Black Sabbath, but and yes, it's another anti-war song. I think when it comes to the anti-war thing, Black Sabbath were never going to top themselves with War Pigs. War Pigs just goes so hard, alright? And it's so iconic. They were just never going to top it. And also the anti-war thing was kind of getting very tired by the time this album came out in 1971. So, yeah. But it's a good song. It is a good fucking song, y'all. And then Orchid is another instrumental interlude where Tony Iommi breaks out the acoustic, I believe, for the first time on a Sabbath album. And he just kind of plays it for a minute and a half. And weirdly, it feels out of place. To me, it feels like this belongs more on a Yes album rather than a Black Sabbath album. This feels like it would fit more on Fragile or the Yes album rather than Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. So, yeah. Song number 6 is A Lord of This World. It's got a very Sabbathy riff. We've got more religious imagery. It's written from the perspective of a self-aware Satan. It's just like, this world was created by a God above, and yet you come to me, and you ask for all this shit. You are a slave to your fucking vices, but at the end of your life, you don't come to me, the man whose image you lived in all your life. No, you go to God, hoping for forgiveness. And he gives you shit for it. And he's giving you shit for it. It's literally written from the perspective of Satan. And it's more religious imagery, and frankly, another good exhibit as to why metal and Black Sabbath in particular are not satanic. Yeah. Song number 7, Solitude. It is sung by an uncharacteristically calm Ozzy Osbourne. I honestly thought for a long time that this was some other member of the band, or this was like a Roy Harper Have a Cigar moment, because Roy Harper sung Have a Cigar on Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. I thought either Iommi took the mic or somebody else took the mic here. But no, it's Ozzy. It's Ozzy, and he doesn't sound like Ozzy. It's bizarre, but it's also why the song works, in my opinion. And it's, it's a breakup song. The flute feels very much like Jethro Tull, but it was played by Tony Iommi, who, fun fact, was almost in Jethro Tull at one point. Black Sabbath almost didn't happen because Tony Iommi was indeed in Jethro Tull for a period of about, I don't know, a week? It was longer than that. He was in Jethro Tull for a little while, and then he was just like, oh, alright, well, he wasn't vibing, and, he just decided to go back to Black Sabbath. But he and Ian Anderson continued to be good friends. And in fact, this morning I was scrolling on YouTube, and Tony Iommi's like community post popped up saying that he had just had lunch with Ian Anderson either the day before or the night before, or maybe that day. I don't know. But yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, oh, they're still buddies. So that's cool. That's very cool. And then song number 8, Into the Void. It's a great closer. It's my only problem is I honestly think Lord of this World should have closed it out. Genuinely do. But Into the Void, it is the longest song on the album. It's lyrically time to visit space. And it's got some very progressive rock-esque lyrics. And in fact, the song itself is kind of proggy. Not sonically, but when you're listening to it, there's a bunch of different parts. It's proggy in the way that War Pigs is proggy, in that it progresses into different movements of the song, I guess. Bill Ward goes absolutely nuts on the drums at one point, though, and it is, again, fantastic song, fantastic album. Go buy it. I have a story to tell with that. I was in a secondhand CD store like a year and a half ago, and I came across their debut album and Paranoid all on the same shelf, and I didn't pick them up, despite the fact that I already knew that Paranoid was fucking awesome. I'm just kicking myself, because had I picked that up, I'd have discovered this music earlier. Oh, dude, I'm so pissed off right now that I didn't pick those up, and I don't have a physical copy to show you. So don't make my mistake. Go buy it. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like on it. If you have something to add, please feel free to do so in the comment section down below. If you want to continue along this musical journey with me, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to the description, to the latest episode of that in the description down below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, or a 15-second segment at least, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. I post a song on my story there every single day. And with that, I would like to remind you all to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in the next one. Take care.